What is up? And welcome back to Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silvers. As always, I am your host, Brandon Silvers. Bit of a mini-sode today. Going to give y'all a state of the show update and talk about a trip I took to Atlanta to see my Dodgers play. Let's get into it. All right, first, let's start with our state of the show update. Been a while since I did one of those. If you are new to the show and you're like, what the hell do I care? I guess that's fair, but it'll be a nice little peek into the behind the scenes of how an independent content creator operates. I am extremely pleased to announce that I have my first official sponsor, Turn the Page Travel. If that sounds familiar, it's because it's a travel agency owned and operated by a friend of the show, James Page, who's been on to talk about football a couple of times. James obviously believes in what I'm doing here and also thinks that I do it well enough that it can help his business out. I agree. The reason he believes that is because of you. And I agree with him there too. So I have to thank you for supporting me. I have no formal training in this. I just like talking about sports. I learned how to do this audio only first. Then I took the leap to video, which is a whole different animal. It was not easy. At one point, I legitimately had two people I hadn't met in real life watching or listening to me. But as long as those two people were tuning in, I was going to keep putting out episodes. It slowly started to grow, but I don't think I broke 1,000 views that first year, but that's just how things go. And y'all have rocked with me the whole time, and I've had a lot of fun. I got to talk to all these cool people, really push myself to see how many different things I can do, but it is so wild looking back. So thank you for watching, listening, rating, subscribing, reviewing, and sharing. I say that at the end of every episode, but the fact that anybody tunes in to see me yap is still amazing to me, and I truly appreciate it. Okay, what does this mean for the show? Well, James gets the show. He understands my style and the way I do things. It's been a minute since I did a deep dive on a societal or cultural issue because life things got heavy for me, but he knows I don't shy away from that. He knows my feud with Texas A&M fans. He knows I like to have fun talking about sports. Again, he's been on the show. So nothing is being cut from what I do and what I've always done. In fact, I want to double down on the things I enjoy doing and the things y'all have let me know that you enjoy seeing and hearing. If anything, this helps take some of the pressure of doing things I don't like doing off of me. One of my goals with this has been to see if I can make it sustainable as I grow without having to make viewers and listeners pay. Now, don't get me wrong, I've got Cash App, Venmo, and Zelle if anybody is feeling generous, but I want companies to see the value in what I'm doing enough where they are the ones making this sustainable, not you. Especially as I try to do more and more cool things, whether that's on here or with my blog, The Show Notes, where I just posted season previews for every WNBA team that gives you everything you need to know in 5 to 10 minutes. Link is below. Go check it out. A sponsorship helps me expand my coverage, and it's kind of cool because it gives me something else to be creative about. Will there be short ad reads? Absolutely. But now I get to brainstorm ways to make them better than a typical ad read, so it's part of the show versus this weird halting thing. Also, Turn the Page Travel is a travel agency with a ton of sports packages for the Super Bowl, MLB All-Star Game, the Final Four, everything like that. It gives me another reason to talk about these events, number one, but also I've been some of these places myself. The Major League Baseball All-Star Game is in Atlanta this year. I just got back from watching baseball in Atlanta that was unrelated to this sponsorship. We're about to talk about that. I've got recommendations for what you can do when you go to Atlanta to watch baseball. I was going to share them regardless, so it makes the whole thing pretty seamless. So it's truly awesome that y'all have supported me enough to make this possible. Also cool to find a sponsor like Turn the Page Travel that understands what I'm doing and wants to help me grow that. And just a big milestone for me personally, where I've been able to prove to myself that there is a path to sustainability, doing things the way that I would like to do them. The Turn the Page Travel website and Instagram pages will be in the show notes below. Give them a follow. All right, let's turn the page on this segment and talk about my travel. And with that, he has backed out of our sponsorship agreement. Just kidding. Okay, as an East Coast Dodgers fan, it has become an annual tradition to go watch them play when they're in Atlanta to take on the Braves. This was my third year in a row doing it. It's pretty cool too because it gives me a chance to hang out with dear friend of mine and friend of the show, Brett, who you may remember from some baseball episodes. He was also the star of Brett's Bets. That was a Beyond the Arc staple back in the day. I'm pretty terrible about sharing details about my personal life on here, but I've got my first child on the way. My wonderful baby mama, Erin, joined me on this trip. She has recently become addicted to fantasy sports and wants me to start Beyond the Arc Fantasy League. So if you're interested, let me know. NFL would be the next option, but she does NBA, Major League Baseball, and WNBA. Also joining me was another friend of the show. Some might call him man's best friend of the show, the star of Beyond the Bark, where he makes his weekly NFL picks, my dog, Kobe. This is important because Erin, being pregnant, pees a lot, and Kobe, being spoiled, factors heavily into our travel plans and bathroom breaks. It is incumbent upon me as a travel influencer now to let you know if you are headed to Atlanta with a dog and you are passing through the town of Thompson, Georgia, which is just outside of Augusta on I-20, you have to stop at Molly's Food and Fuel. Now, I stopped simply because it had a dog on its logo on the highway sign. I didn't think much of it. However, when Erin went inside, she found out that not only is there a dog on the logo, but dogs are allowed inside. Now, I'm not one of those people who feels the need to take my dog everywhere because, I mean, come on. Let's be for real. And Kobe is very much a people's dog, not a dog's dog. He clearly thinks he's people. That's why he has all those t-shirts. So when I found out that dogs were allowed inside and also no other dogs were in there at the moment, I took him in for his first convenience store experience. Safe to say he enjoyed himself. This is the Buc-ee's of the dog world. They have free little treats too. They got treats you can buy, obviously. The clerk was super friendly. All in all, a 10 out of 10 experience. So despite Kobe's protests, we continued on our journey and made our way to Atlanta. This was Saturday. We had tickets for the Saturday and Sunday night games. The plan was for Brett and I to go Saturday while his lovely wife and Erin watched the kids and Kobe, and then Erin would join the two of us for Sunday's game. Shortly after getting there Saturday afternoon, we start getting these weather alerts, and it quickly becomes clear that a line of severe thunderstorms is going to come through the area at the same time as the first pitch is scheduled and last for a couple of hours. Now, rain has delayed at least one other Dodgers game that I've gone to in Atlanta, but I'm an indoor sports person, so I'm always shocked at the possibility of a weather-related delay or cancellation, even though afternoon storms are par for the course around here this time of year. So then you've got decisions to make. Like, what do? Do we go up there just in case they start and then put a pause on it in the middle of things? Do we wait and see if they delay it altogether? Are they going to cancel the game, maybe play a doubleheader the next day? We don't know. And even worse, the Braves aren't saying anything about it. They have this really cool entertainment district surrounding Truist Park with all these bars and restaurants and all kind of stuff. And they would much prefer people to show up and spend money there than sit at home like we were doing. Even better for them if you get stuck spending money there during a weather delay. Finally, it came out that Dodgers manager Dave Roberts told a reporter there would be a delay, but they would get the game in that night. To my point about the Braves not wanting to scare people off from coming to the entertainment district, they didn't post about the delay on social media until like 2 minutes after the first pitch was originally scheduled to take place. So we're hanging out at Brett's house and pretending to be meteorologists, and they announced that the game will start shortly after 10 p.m. Now, this was awesome because I knew the crowd would be mostly Dodgers fans. Obviously, I'm not the only Dodgers fan in this large fan base to have the idea to come see them when they're in my area. So it was going to be a very Dodger-heavy crowd no matter what. But also just thinking as a Braves fan in Atlanta, why would I even bother? If I care about the Braves, let me just carry my ass to sleep and I'll catch them one of the other 81 days they play here without all the hassle. So I knew between this and also the prospect at being at a game that starts in one day and ends in another, that we were in for a unique experience. I mean, how often do games end after midnight in the time zone where they're being played? So we make our way there and the turnout is about what we expected. And on top of that, the seats are incredible. I don't know the exact terminology, but like lower level, just on the other side of the foul pole in the outfield along the third base line. We got to our seats by the top of the second inning. In that inning, Michael Conforto, who I will talk about more in a bit, grounded into a fielder's choice that brought home Will Smith. But I was there to see Shohei, Mookie, Freddie, Teoscar, Roki Sasaki on the mound, and also holding out hope that Hae-Sung Kim, who had just been called up, made it to Atlanta in time to play. I got to cross off the Roki on the mound portion of my list in the bottom half of that inning, but the Braves tied it up on an Eli White triple. However, then things took a beautiful turn. Top of the third inning, Spencer Schwellenbach, who actually won the John Olerud Award as the nation's best two-way player in college, is on the mound for the Braves. He's facing off against the best two-way player we've ever seen in Shohei Ohtani. I get a humidity-stained video of Shohei on the big screen, turn back around to watch the first pitch of the at-bat, and boom, absolute moonshot, 415 feet to center field. After that, it was on. Roki settled in and started dealing. The Braves eventually pulled Schwellenbach for Aaron Bummer, who immediately lived up to his last name by somehow misplaying a slow roller that I could have handled, and then airmailing the throw to the catcher when he finally did get a hold of the ball, and that allowed a run to score. Later in the game, Scott Blewett came in to pitch for the Braves and lived up to his last name too by giving up a 3-run homer to Freddie Freeman, much like the very thing that caused the delay in the first place. When it rained, it poured. When it was all said and done, I had seen Freddie and Shohei homer, Mookie and Teoscar drive in runs, Roki earn his first major league win, and my guy, Hae-Sung Kim, got into play some defense for his first big league appearance. The game was maybe a third full, and it felt like it was 75% Dodgers fans with Let's Go Dodgers chants breaking out all the time. 10-3 Dodgers win, and if you need any more proof things were going my way, I got the very last chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A at the concession stand in our section. We rolled out of there just before 1:30 in the morning. The next day, the weather was incredible. We rolled over to the West End area where they have a nice food hall and access to the Beltline. The Beltline's a 22-mile loop. You can walk, run, bike, whatever on it. They also have little stores and stuff along the way. Now, I very much enjoyed the trail, but we stopped off at a coffee shop along the trail, and it was a bottom 5 coffee shop experience for me of all time. This place shall remain nameless because maybe it was just a bad day, but I knew in my heart that we were in trouble right from the jump. The barista who took our order was the least energetic person I've ever encountered. You are surrounded by caffeine. Why are you bringing this snuffleupagus ass energy to this store? Sample some of your own product and tighten up. Perhaps he could not sample his own product because they were also out of several things, which, okay, it happens. But also, if you're a coffee shop, how do you not have these coffee-based items? Then our slow motion friend proceeds to take a year and a day to make our drinks. Now look, I get things can get busy and it was just him by himself at the front, but this place wasn't even half full. There were maybe 2 or 3 people ahead of us. It doesn't take 30, 45 minutes to make 4 drinks. Or should I say 3 drinks, because he simply didn't make one of our drinks. No clue what happened, and I'll be damned if we were going to spend another lifetime in there waiting for the situation to get rectified. So, if you are walking on the Beltline from that West End food hall and you see a coffee shop on the right-hand side in an apartment complex, keep it moving. But other than that, the trail was nice. They had a nice little outdoor market set up outside the food hall. It was very cool. Just bring your own coffee. Okay. Sunday night game on Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Dustin May on the mound for the Dodgers, who almost died after tearing his esophagus eating a salad. That's why I don't eat vegetables. Bryce Elder on the mound for the Braves. Brett, Aaron, and I get there early enough to partake in some of the entertainment district fun. Starting at the Blue Moon Beer Garden. Beer is hit or miss for me. If I'm going to drink, let's do some sort of liquor drink that you'd find at a tropical resort. However, their Los Bravos beer was good. Also, they made Erin a mocktail that she loved, since obviously she's not drinking alcohol. So if you don't drink, then they got you covered as well. Now, they do card you every time you place an order. I'm 36, so this led to an awkward moment where I had no clue what the bartender was even asking for. Be better prepared than I was. Save yourself that embarrassment. Inside the actual stadium, I was on the hunt for a soft pretzel. I like soft pretzels. Be very, very careful. There are a couple of places that sell soft pretzels. One will sell you an obviously frozen one that they have microwaved to the point of being stale. Real pretzel knowers like you and me want to go to either the Centerfield Market or Ballpark Classic stands and get the Jumbo Bavarian pretzel. I don't know how fresh it was, but it tasted like it was fresh. That's all I care about. Soft, warm bread, good flavor, just enough salt for you to taste it, but it didn't make my lips swell. If you're a pretzel person like me, go grab you one. They have these standing areas for you to watch the game with like this elevated trough thing to set your food or drink on. So that's what we did. We've done that every other time I've gone, except for the previous night's game, because it gives you a better view of the seats than I can afford. Perhaps I would have gotten better seats all these years if I had booked with Turn the Page Travel. Anyways, the Braves had our number that night. The Dodgers had won the series already, so when May was struggling a bit, I think Dave held off on going to the bullpen. They were just going to let him work through it. The star of the show, in a bad way for the Dodgers, was the aforementioned Michael Conforto. Now, I feel bad when guys struggle, but I also know you have to pick a different struggle if you're going to struggle. For instance, Max Muncy, he was struggling, so he tried the torpedo bat. He even put on glasses, even though he has perfect vision. Try something new. That's all I ask. Conforto did not. He kept the same strategy to the point that it was equal parts infuriating and confusing. I'd never seen anything like it. For 5 consecutive at-bats between the 2 days, he struck out looking. How, after 3 in a row at most, you don't at least flail at the ball the next time you see a pitch with 2 strikes? I don't know. I mean, why'd he even bring a bat up there? It was insane. He was finally pinch hit for Sunday, and the batter who hit for him, Miguel Rojas, homered. Now, there was some excitement as Hae-Sung Kim got in as a pinch runner in the 9th with the Dodgers down 4-3, and he's just electric. He stole second, then he advanced to third on a drop third strike, 90 feet away from a tie ball game. Unfortunately, Austin Barnes struck out to end the game. Even worse than that is Shohei was on deck, but hey, it is what it is. That's baseball. An awesome experience nonetheless. All right, I told you, short and sweet this week. Head on over to the show notes at the link below for my WNBA team previews. Again, thank you for watching, listening, rating, subscribing, reviewing, and sharing. Thank you to Turn the Page Travel for sponsoring. Go show them some love, and I will catch you later.